Bryce is the official seamstress for the Minnesota Vikings football team. Right now she's sewing on patches for jackets that will be given to former players who have played in all 4 Super Bowls at an upcoming game.
I've lettered all the names for all 4 Super Bowls. As far as that goes, I did go to 1 Super Bowl, the one that was in Houston, our second one.
Since 1969, Penny has made sure every Vikings football player's name is sewn on perfectly on the back of their jersey.
This is the one that I do the names on, so we start out with the plaque like this. We have to add backing and then press the letters on, and then I stitch around each letter.
And how long would that take you?
It goes about, just the actual sewing is about a minute a letter.
Penny works out of her Hopkins, Minnesota shop, where day after day she sews on nameplates, patches, and whatever else the team needs done for each game during the football season. She's been doing the job for so long, she's noticed big changes over the years.
The players themselves are bigger, but the jerseys are actually smaller. The old jerseys were just much more baggy, and now they're custom fitted and have the elastic waists and the different styles. They have actually different cuts. They'll have a quarterback cut, a skill cut, a linebacker cut, so there's a lot more to the jerseys themselves.
While many NFL teams have gone to big manufacturers to do their sewing, the Vikings decided to keep Penny doing it over the years. She's critical of the work she's seen on other team jerseys.
Like the way their name plaques are made. Some of them come from the factory and they're a lot bigger. From the very beginning, talking with Stubby Eason, the first equipment manager, and then Dennis Ryan, we decided to custom make everyone to fit the name, not just a big plaque. If you have a real short name, like Fred Cox was the short name, and some had 12 inches, they had all this extra fabric. It just didn't look very nice. So we custom make every name, every plaque to fit the name length.
You had Jones already?
Yep, Jones is there. His practice is here and that other Verizon. Yep.
All right.
Dennis Ryan is the equipment manager for the Vikings. He visits Penny twice a week, dropping off jerseys and picking up the finished ones.
I realize how fortunate we are to have Penny, to have had her the entire time I've been with the Vikings. I've worked since 1975 in a part-time or full-time capacity. And to have her doing the uniforms, we've had to worry about nothing as far as placement of numbers and font of the letters, and her detail, her commitment to her job is impeccable. And we've been very, very fortunate.
The team is so appreciative of Penny's work. Coach Mike Zimmer recently invited her to come to a practice so the players could meet her.
She and her staff have sewn the name on the back of every player's jersey. She's also worked on much of the sideline gear. She works tireless hours, takes great pride in being part of the Vikings. For 46 years, she has been behind the scenes, but today we want to put her in front.
1, 2, 3, Bryce!
This is the first time Penny was the guest of honor at a Vikings practice. The players learned she likes some of their names better than others, and it has nothing to do with how well they do on the field. So what do you do if they have a really long name?
As over the years, the style of letters have changed a little bit, so sometimes we've had to have narrower letters made, like Klein Saucer. And it seems like it never fails that the guy with the longest name has the smallest jersey.
Penny is also one of the team's most trusted contractors. So do you ever get any behind-the-scenes information? Like maybe do you know that a player's coming that nobody else does?
Sometimes I have. I've known it ahead of time, and sometimes that player never comes. And then there's been a couple times where the player did come, and I've had the shirt ready.
Got all that stuff on there? Look at there. All those patches? That's great.
The jackets Penny worked on for the Vikings players, who played in all 4 Super Bowls, were finally given out during a Vikings-Kansas City Chiefs game.
What do you think about somebody like Penny? Is she kind of like a hero that nobody ever hears about?
Oh, I think so, yeah. I mean, I think it's awesome. And, you know, it's something that I'll think about every time I put the jacket on.
There is a diamond in the rough, Penny is. If you don't love her, you can't love anybody. I've never seen a gal, number one, that knows more about football than I do. She knows every player. I mean, she's an encyclopedia.
So, have Have you ever hurt yourself?
Oh, you're not a true sewer unless you've sewed your finger.
Penny considers herself an old-school sewer. Many of her machines are secondhand and some date back to the 1950s. While other NFL teams use computerized ones, Penny would rather do it her way.
The old machines are really the best. They have really good hard steel in them. There's very little maintenance. It's a matter of cleaning them and oiling them, keeping a fresh new needle in. I have one that was cleaned by my uncle. He found it in a junkyard, cleaned it with kerosene, and I'm still sewing on it today.
And Penny's nowhere ready to retire from doing the job. She loves her work day after day and takes pride in seeing her work on the field during football season.
I feel fortunate that I'm the one doing it and I enjoy it. I've always liked sports. My dad and Mom were always into sports and watching. Even before the Vikings came here, his favorite team was the Colts. Like I said, I take pride in my work. My dad was a carpenter and he said, be the job, big or small, do it right or not at all. So I've always tried to do the best work.
Life to the Max is brought to you by Life Touch, photography for a lifetime.